Hey y'all, it's Diana again and the old lady report. Well, today I wanted to talk about my last marriage a little bit. I've still not gotten over that. If you're with somebody for 18 years, no matter how bad it may have been, they still were a part of your life. And it's just been really hard for me to move on. Not that I love him, it's just I thought it was forever. I really did. He told me before we married that he felt that Allah, which is God, had sent us to each other, that we needed each other to complete each other. That's the kind of situation I thought I was going into. A forever for the rest of my life, through good or bad. I dealt with him through a lot of heartache. I dealt with him with very lean times whenever he didn't make much money. I dealt with him, with his bad attitude. And he would be real ill sometimes. And as I look down back on it, I realized that a lot of that really started at the time that he was trying to get himself situated to move back overseas and take his second wife. I didn't know anything about none of this. So the more he was trying to prepare himself to leave, the meaner he got. And there were still good times, but not near as many as they had been in the past. So it was pretty rough. So in a lot of ways, I feel much better now that he's gone. But it's just a part of me that doesn't want to start over. I've dated a good bit. I was slow in dating. I was a year and a half, 2 years after we divorced before I ever started dating. And I've dated a good many. Nice men, all were nice because I wouldn't go out with anybody that wasn't nice. But still, somebody can be nice and it just not really click. It not be a situation at our age that it would fit in real good. So I've not found anybody that I would care to do a life-changing situation with. That means giving up my life, because men are not one. A man that is anything and can offer you anything will be somebody who is established within his own community, within his own home, with his own work. He will not be looking to come to you. Especially at my age, I don't look for somebody that says I want to, a new start to build a career or something. Not at my age, I don't. It's got to be somebody that's already established, and it's going to have to be somebody that I really feel that I would have a real, true connection with before I would give up my security of my life and my family here that I do not want to be away from. I have done things and went and met people and done things in the past, and I would have started over anywhere in the world. But not at my age, not at 65. I'm not planning on that. It would have to be somebody close around so that I could see my family as long as, we all lived. So that's the reason it's just real hard for me to find somebody that either lives close enough around or that I would want to give up anything for. I've noticed that men in my age bracket, even if they're not physically sex or able to have sex, that's still something that's on their mind, and they want somebody to arouse them as the best as they can, and love and hug and all that kind of stuff. Well, all that stuff comes in the right time. When you actually meet somebody you like, it's not like I'm so desperate I'm going to take whoever comes along. I'm not going to do that. It's got to be somebody that I feel a connection with. Just like when we was young and you meet somebody, you may meet, a dozen folks and date, that many more until you find that right one that you want to spend your life with. And that's the way it is when you get older. You still, unless you're desperate, unless you feel like you're desperate, but I don't feel that way. I don't need to feel that way. No, I don't have a financial or a sexual need to jump into a situation like that with somebody I don't even know. No, that's not me. Never was me. So, now I spent a lot of years of my life single, even though I've had 3 husbands. I spent a lot of years single by choice. I mean, I dated. I had a pretty good time dating, but I wouldn't get serious about anybody. I even lived with a guy, well, he lived with me for 4 years after my second divorce. And I never would marry that boy. He didn't like it either. But that's just the way it is. You don't always got to make that thing a legal binding contract so that you have to wind up doing something to, null and void that contract later on. So, yeah, there was about 15 years between the second one and the third one. So, and I really thought that he was the one that God had sent to me. Years and years I would pray, that I want to meet that perfect man. But in my mind, that perfect man had a lot going for him. But finally I said, God, send me who you think needs me, who you think would be a good companion for me. He doesn't have to be rich. He doesn't have to be, all this and all that. But he's got to be somebody that's going to really connect with me and want to spend time with me, that really loves me. And in turn, I do the same thing. In turn, when I feel totally secure, when I feel like that person is real, a real deal, I fall in love too. And I like to do for somebody that I'm in love with. But I hate doing things for people that I know don't love me. Oh, I hate it. Especially I don't want a relationship where I've got to, cook and clean and take care of a man that I don't think likes me and I don't really like him. I'm not going to do that. No. So I just was thinking about that tonight, because I remember at one point, we talked about children, and I offered for us to adopt, because I was in my 40s when we got married. I said, we can adopt, or we can do a surrogate mother so that the child will be yours. Well, I don't know why he did, but he discussed it with his mama, and his mama said, oh no, that's haram, which means not allowed in Islam. I'd like to know why it's not allowed. They're allowed to take up to 4 wives. Some of them they don't even know or like for a number of reasons. Usually it's for children, and it could be because you're connecting with a family that has more money. There's a lot of reasons that they do that. But she said it was not allowed, so we could not do that. And then later on, whenever his nephews and nieces that were little children when we lived there, grew up and went to college, and started working on a computer and doing internet searches under mine and my husband's name. They come up with some interviews that I had done. I believe it was before my husband and I even married. But it still came up. And they read that I was trans. And as soon as they told me, Ma, she started working to get him away from me. She started working big time. She could not stand that. But he knew from the beginning. He knew from the get-go. So, I doubt I will ever find that soulmate that I was always looking for. I doubt it. But I came into this world feeling lonely, like I was looking for somebody. A playmate, I thought, when I was a kid. I wanted my parents to adopt a child because my mother had a hysterectomy right after I was born. So she couldn't have any more children. And I tried to get her to adopt or to get a foster child. And either way, back then in the 60s, you had to have a mother at home, not like it is today. You could not do that in her work, and she worked. So I never got that playmate. But I always thought that's what it was. And then when I got older, I thought, well, I'll find that in a boyfriend or a husband. That's a big part of it for me, is someone to share my life with, have a good time with. Not just sex, not just somebody to keep their house. I want it to be more than that. And I doubt I'll ever find it. But that's okay. Because I like myself a whole lot. And, I like my family. I like what's going on with my life right now. I'm 65. I'll be 66 in December. And I know as I age, things are going to a little worse. I know that. And that's something that always scared me so much whenever I was younger, dreading these days. And I guess that's one of the reasons I stayed with my ex as long as I did, thinking I'm going to ride this on out so I'd have security. He was a good many years younger than me. And he'd always said that, he would never send me somewhere that if I had to go, if there was some reason I had to go to a nursing home, he says, I'll move in there with you. He said, because I can't be away from you. I've even got a video where he tells this shit. And I believed it. So, it broke my heart. So, all right, y'all. I know this is a poor pity party. But it's my channel. I can pour pity if I want to. Good night, y'all. Signing off for the Old Lady Report.